Good morning, viewers. Good day, wherever you are. Good day, viewers. My name is Mark Godwin Eberechi, and it's a beautiful morning here in Milan, Italy. Well, you're welcome to our program, News Echo Global Africa, Wednesday, 2023. As usual, I have my coordinators and colleagues from all corners of the world. Right there in Toronto, Canada, George. You're welcome to Echo Global Africa.
Thank you so very much. Good morning, Massive Mark, and good morning, viewers from around the world. We want to thank you for joining us today. It's going to be a fantastic show, so stay tuned.
Thank you, Sir George. Thank you very much. Also in Lagos, Nigeria, our one and only lady in the house, Lady Nana. Lady Nana, you're welcome to News Echo Africa, Wednesday, the 25th of October. You're welcome, Didi.
Thank you, Massive Man. Thanks for having me once again. All our viewers all around the world, thanks for joining us again, once again. Let's do it like always.
Let's do it like always, gentlemen. Please let's see what the paper, early morning paper in Nigeria is saying this today. We have some news flash, some news headline. It's said that the EFCC chairman, the new EFCC chairman, Ola Olukayode, has directed the staff of EFCC Commission to all declare their assets in line with the civil service regulation and procedure. He has said everybody should declare asset. He is declaring his asset so that there will be transparency in their endeavor. Also this morning, we got this information because we've been following the flood in Lagos and some parts of the south west. But this morning, the federal government has said that it's not the dam. There is no overflow. It's not true that there's an overflow of dam, the Oyen Dam in Ogun State. That is not true that that dam is responsible for the flooding that people are experiencing in Lagos and some part of the southwest. So Professor Joseph, the Minister of Water Resources, has made this announcement this morning, early morning to Wednesday. Also, on the headlines today is one from the federal government. It says Nigeria needs about $10 billion annually to fund the SDG. We know the SDG is the Sustainable Development Goal, and this means being able to carry through the both private and public sector. And government says they need this amount of money. Now, but what a lot of people are saying is the governor of Edo State is saying they can't meet up with this fund because there's so much wastage in governance and too much unnecessary spending in the federal government level. This is Obaseki saying this while the government is saying they need to fund the SDG with $10 billion. Also in the news this morning, gentlemen, we know the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo. Olusegun Obasanjo comes from a region, Abeokuta, that is known for a particular product. It's called the Adire clothing line. But funny enough, the past 5 to 6 years, Adire has been imported from China. So Olusegun Obasanjo came out this morning and said federal government should put a ban on the importation of Adire from China because we are also producing Adire. I don't know how our government thinks. This morning also, finally, from the news headline, scientists from the University of South Wales in the UK have discovered something very strange, and that is that cancer cells now resist chemotherapy. So chemotherapy doesn't really work on cancer patients anymore because the cells have gone beyond that. They now resist those treatments. So, gentlemen, before we go into the discussion, what do you have to say about these news headlines? George, what's any one of it that interests you and your view?
Yeah. Well, the cancellation of importation of Adura from China is, I guess, you must have spiraled from what's his name, Senator Ben, what's his name again? The senator that owns the cinema in Nigeria.
Ben Bruce.
The Ben Bruce just made
Bruce.
a comment
Mm-hmm.
recently about buying Nigeria, which is a very good idea. And so the question now is, if importation of Adura from China, because I know China can give you the best quality and they can give you the worst. And they can give you the one that you can wear and then you start washing off your body right away. So as long as Nigeria can produce enough for us and then to be able to export quality material, then we will say, let's make sure that we stop the importation. Because if you remember quickly, part of the problem we've had in Nigeria is whereby the government will begin to marginalize a group of people simply because they are traders and, whatever they are specializing in importing, they will ban those products and give it to one individual. We've seen that with sugar, we've seen that with rice, we've seen that with a whole lot of other products, which is really the truth of the matter being that the government have fought against the Igbos, the eastern region, people that are in business. So those type of attitude must stop if we are to continue to increase our economy and the welfare of Nigerians. So, but anyway. Also, what else did you talk about?
Yes, cancer cell, government trying to fund the SDG. I think what you just said now is more patent because it's funny that we have that product coming out from Africa, from Nigeria. The Ogun State people, the Abeokuta people are known to make Adire, good Adire. I traded on Adire as a venture back in the days. I was pushing Adire in large quantity to the UK and Dublin. And it's funny that the Chinese have taken over that and doing it in their own way, like you said. So, but we need to begin to believe in our things, our products, and move our product, make money out of it, make something out of it for ourselves, and keep that brand running. BD, what do you say? What do you think about that?
Well, I want to start from a EFCC declaration of assets.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a culture in this part of the world. Then at the end, what comes out of it? Nothing. Well, I hope it makes a turnaround because people have been declaring assets in Nigeria and nothing has come out of it. Having said that, the address thing, I think, is a Nigerian thing. Because me, I served in Ogun State. If you go to um, Akoto market, I've forgotten Akoto market.
Koto.
I served there. You ask yourself, what is federal government looking for in Ghana? I'm telling you, if you have been to that Abeokuta, that market where they produce Adure, you will see old people in their 80s, 70s, 100s still producing good and quality Adure. Then you now know that it is a problem. It's not about banning it or saying it. Do you understand? It just reminds me of today. Sorry, I want to take a little time. Today is the 72 birthday of late Dobesi, one man that actually break the monopoly of media in Nigeria. The advent of AIT was what actually broke the monopoly of NTA in Nigeria. But unfortunately, this man is gone. Look at what is happening. I'm still referring to Adre issue. Our senators have insisted on buying in those cars. They say they must buy it. The example they were citing was the ministers. That do you know how many cars the minister, how many SUG the ministers have? But why should Nigerians talk about them? Do you understand? It's not, you're not trying to justify your evil by pointing another evil doer. That's the kind of country we have gotten ourselves into. Now, why I'm bringing this thing now? Dr. C was a man who understands what media is all about, what journalism is all about. If you remember, if you go down the history of Dr. Me and AIT, he's an PDP member. But there is no PDP government that did not shut down APC. AIT. Obasanjo did, Jonathan did, because of what? Because he was true to his profession. He's a PDP member, but he always stood for the truth. That is what we don't have today. I miss him when I listened to this senator, because if the person was to be alive, he would have spoken against it. But how many notable Nigerians are even speaking against this? None. Because they don't want to be in the bad record of Nigeria or PDP government so that they can get contracts or jobs. So that is the country we've come about. Look at it. They're going to give millions of people job in Japan. Innocent is there. One other method that produces assembles car in Kaduna is there. But they have, and the number of unemployment we have in Nigeria. But our senators, our lawmakers have decided to take that bunch of money that will empower a lot of people, keep a lot of people busy, keep a lot of homes running to Japan to empower their own citizens. I'm coming back to what Sir George said. You know why they are pushing it? One individual now is there saying, buy from Japan, buy from Toyota, because they are going to give him that contract. So we are going to reach one person. So that is where we have gotten ourselves to. So Obasanjo has said it, that they should ban it. Will they actually ban it? We are a country that don't care about our nation. We use our suffering to empower other people in other nations, and we hear cry and lament. So I want to wish a postponement birthday to Dr. C. Today he's supposed to be celebrating 72, but unfortunately,
Thank you very Thank you, BD.
We miss him.
You use one stone to scatter and kill so many birds. That was good. Thank you. Yes, George, I think she did pretty well on that issue. You started it, George. It's sad our politicians, our leaders, people at the helms of affairs don't understand what it is to build a nation by investing in people, investing in our local indigenous products. All that makes up our country. Adire,
Massive Mark. The
uh-huh.
ill of our nation is that when you appoint, that's this, I keep on saying, this kakistocracy type of style of government that we have. This particular government today is a government of the headlines. What they do is, all you see is talk, 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 talk. I'm still to see one major action that is going to affect all the bad things that APC have done in Nigeria. All they do is just go to the media, make a lot of noise, but no action. And this is one thing, they're not walking the talk. They are all about media, making sure, like what BD was saying, they will make sure that they make a big announcement. They make, they do things that will make them, basically look good, hiding under the cosmetic veil of doing good, but no action behind it. That is one thing that is so sad about our government. And it is about time for the people of Nigeria to rise up, tear down all the religious divisions that we have in Nigeria, tear down all the tribal sentiments, and bring in that, come with one voice and say enough is enough. We are moving forward. If you don't move forward, we'll move you out of the way, because this is the time. People are dying every day, and we are here playing politics and playing all kinds of media games. It needs to stop in that country, and it needs to stop now. People, Nigerians, wake up. This is your time.
It needs to stop in that country, and it needs to stop now. Thank you very much, George. You added more spice to that. Moving forward, before we also go into the discussion today, it's good we give updates on the Hamas Israel attack. As at this morning, 20 trucks have been allowed to move in, and some amount of aid workers also were on ground to address the humanitarian crisis that is coming up on that side. So the border crossing between Egypt and Gaza has opened since Saturday, and they've been able to put in needed aid into that very war-torn Palestinian territory. So for the first time, Israel is allowing them to move, but Israel is still pounding very hard with some airstrikes, following what we all saw as the Hamas rampage 2 weeks ago. So these 20 trucks are moving in with aid workers, with a lot of things, and we hope they will be able to help those that are there. Gaza has about 2.3 million Palestinians, that Gaza region, and half of them have fled their homes. So there's also rationing of food and drinking water. Hospital supplies are running low. Fuel is not even on working. So it's a terrible situation there. But what do we have to say? The Hamas-led terrorist group caused all this for these poor people of Gaza and Palestinians. So, but thank God the borders are open and aid is going in. Do you guys have anything to say about that? Anybody has anything to say about airstrikes and the?
Well, I do. It is very unfortunate that only a handful of people will continue to mess up, and the masses are the victims of this situation. You see, I see a lot of campaign going on around the world, rallies all over the place. But the point is, Hamas came into your own area. We are able to build miles upon miles of underground bunkers that help them to go all the way to Israel. They were allowed to do this from air, from the sea, and from the ground troop. They kidnapped and killed more people ever since the Holocaust. This is the second number of the largest population of people that were killed after the Holocaust. And then what you see around the world, people are talking nonsense and just rallying around, and nobody says anything. If you want to talk about what is happening in Palestine, condemn what Hamas did first and foremost. If not, shut up. That's what I got to say. Because these are innocent people that were minding their own business, doing their own things, and you are sick. There are hundreds of them that are kidnapped up until now. And people are around the world, just rallying and talking nonsense. What about the innocent souls that died in that place? What about the people that are still kidnapped in that place? And then you're talking about what is happening. No, you condemn it first and then begin to talk about reconciliation or ceasefire. If you don't do that, I don't think it is right for anybody, because blood is blood, life is life. They went there, they killed thousands, hundreds of people, kidnapped a lot of the thousands. So right now, all I'm saying is this. I don't like that the victims are innocent people, old people, children that are being killed. I don't support that in any way. But please, if you want to rally, if you want to talk nonsense, condemn what Hamas did before you move forward. If you don't condemn it, you're talking nonsense.
Thank you, George. George is always putting it out as from the heart. Thank you, George. Let's move on now, guys. Our time, is always small. Something big happened during the week. You all know the story. Nigeria wins an $11 billion P&ID case in UK court. Now let's give the backstory of what that whole thing. That whole thing started with 2010. A company called P&ID entered into an agreement with Nigeria to build gas processing plant in Alaba, Cross River State, south central of Nigeria. But that company said the deal collapsed because the Nigerian government did not fulfill its end of the bargain. Um, they claimed that Nigeria breached the terms of contract, and P&ID took illegal recourse and secured an arbitral award against our country, Nigeria. However, that private arbitration tribunal I think that was in January 2017, ordered Nigeria, because they took that case to that arbitrary court. Now, the tribunal ordered Nigeria to pay $6.6 billion to that company because they said we defaulted in the agreement. And take note that there is interest in any time there is money to be paid. There is an interest that begins to run also. So with the interest rate fixed at 7% since 2017, it amounted to $1 million a day. I hope our viewers are following. We're giving the background story of that whole P&ID stock. Now that interest rate began to climb, and the payment accumulated to over 11 billion before the verdict. So Nigeria had to pay that company $11 billion for something that was all a sham. Nigeria, on its part, alleged that the gas deal was a scam, and it also said that it was done to defraud the country, Nigeria. Lawyers representing the federal government told the court that P&ID officials paid bribes to secure that contract. Now, that is where the story began to flow. So as at Monday this week, I think the case started since Friday, or on Monday, this 2 days ago, a Justice Reuben Nons of a commercial bank in England and Wales ruled in favor of Nigeria and squashed that enforcement of paying $11 billion arbitration award that would have favored that process and industry development company, P&ID Limited. So the judge ruled on Monday, even though he did it through an email, but that upheld Nigerian government and our prayers on the ground that that ill-fitted gas processing contract was nothing but a sham. So guys, this is it. We've won the case. Now, my question here is, how did this even come to play? Who were the Nigerians? There's a proverb that says, it is the rat in the house that goes out to call the rat outside that there is food. So how did this all play out, George? George, are you following the P&ID case?
I was catching up on that particular issue yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank Almighty God that we were able to escape this particular trap. But in my own experience, most of these things that are done by our own people. I remember a time when the then Commissioner for Police, had wanted to bring in security apparatus and cameras into Nigeria. I was involved, so we brought the best of the best from Canada, traveled to Nigeria. When we got there, we brought the equipments and we were showcasing all these equipments, the infrared, the one that can do in the middle of the night, even when it's dark, it can still be able to capture things. So after the meeting, everybody was impressed. And the police called us privately and said, these equipments are very, very powerful. We love it. It's very good, but that's not what we need in Nigeria. And I'm like, okay, sir. So what do you want us to do? Or we need to go and get things that can, you don't need these things that don't need maintenance. You need something that we can, after 1 year, maybe we can get money to service it or whatever the case might be. So, the group that I came to Nigeria with said that we cannot do that. Privately, they were telling me, we cannot do that. Our name is on the line. Do you know what that man did? He took all those equipments. On the same weekend, he flew to England. From England, he went to China. Left us alone without letting us know. We're still in the hotel. Took those equipments to China. And then from China, it was his driver who told me privately, Oga no dey, Oga don't travel. I said, where did he go? He released the information to me. This man went to went to England and went to China and duplicated those products and did not do anything, left us alone until we got frustrated and went back to Canada. Then listen to this. A few years later, you remember when they bombed the UN center in Abuja? You remember all those bombing that took place, the police station also, and they started investigating. Those cameras that were installed in that place, when they looked into it, it was nothing but, grade zero. They couldn't find anything, and they started investigating. Nothing came off of it. That policeman, the head of the police commission, got away with that murderous nonsense. Took all that money and pocketed it. So this is what when Biddy was talking about what she was talking about a few minutes ago, we know when it comes to this, I can guarantee you, if care is not taken and you investigate it, something happened from our own people that actually messed up this whole entire thing. Because the bureaucracy and the red tape in trying to get things done in that country is beyond comprehension. Until we sanitize that land, we're going nowhere. I can guarantee you that.
Thank you very much. Obviously, like I just said, the proverb says, the rat inside calls the rat outside. BD, what's your take on the P&ID case that we have won, and now we're not to pay any money? I know you followed that on Monday. All the papers were reporting that, and I know your news platform too was doing the same. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, my take is this. Nigerians are happy, but some set of people are not happy by going by what Sir George said. Sir George is very, very correct from all what he has said. We use the bureaucracy to institute illegal way of doing things, because it's obvious that in Nigeria to get things done proper way is always difficult, but to get it done in short way, in illegal way, is always faster. The truth is this: yes, Nigerians have won this case; they are no longer going to make that payment. But I will tell you that some set of people are not happy about this. And secondly, I am even happy that Nigeria won this case, and I think that our judiciary, because if this case was to be in Nigeria, we will not win it. I hope you are aware of that.
That's true.
I just hope that we will learn something from this, not just being happy that we won it, because it was instituted in a country where judiciary is obeyed, where rule of law is obeyed. And these are one of the things why our investors are not coming into Nigeria, because they know, if I come into this country and invest huge amount of money and I have challenges and I go to judiciary, will I get justice? It's part of the things we are not getting investors into Nigeria. And it's part of the reason why a lot of people are leaving Nigeria. I'm happy. And I think our judiciary should learn from this.
Thank you very much. While you were talking, Alan Wilson, FIH Nerd Hospitality Executive, wrote, "True justice prevails." Thank you, Alan Wilson.
Thank you, Alan.
Yes, Alan is a European, an American, I think. So probably he followed that case, and he was monitoring everything. So he had us, and he wrote that true justice prevailed. And indeed, true justice prevailed. Where like BD said, when the judiciary is honest and truthful in their deeds, the real thing prevails. We will not lose hope in the legal system. We will not lose hope in of the judiciary. Sometimes God uses them to bring in, because people don't listen to God's voice, So God uses them to bring in.
Massive Mark.
Yes.
Before we go on break,
Yes.
you know the definition of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the same thing, saying the same thing, thinking the same thing, and expecting a different result. That is insanity.
Insanity.
You understand? So, to be very frank with you, This country called one of the greatest nations in the world. Look at India today. I remember the years as a child when Indians used to rush into Nigeria to come and find jobs. They became professors. They were in different aspects of our, economy, getting jobs and doing things. Today, look at India today. Look at where they are. And then we are still there claiming to be the giant of Africa, doing all kinds of things, just saying the same thing. The deplorable state of this country right now is because of bad government. That is all it is.
That's all it is.
Great. The country is great. The people are awesome. They need an active, proactive leader that will lead them to that promised land. But what is happening is the state of affairs are so corrupted that you need to rebaptize the whole entire nation in order for us to move in the right direction together. That's all I can say to you.
Thank you very much. Alan is telling us that he's a UK citizen. So obviously Alan was following that case. Yes, he probably was following up that case with the P&ID. The P&ID stands for Processing and Identity Company. So that was it. That was it with that company. Alan, thank you for tuning in. Viewers, will go on a small break. When we come back, we'll be giving more updates. Remember, this is News Echo Global Africa. This beautiful here in Milan. It's beautiful Wednesday morning. The weather is good, and we know it's the same all over. So, BD George will be back. Thank you.
This country has some of the most extraordinary culinary diversity in the world. I'm talking about Nigeria. This first dish is amala abula, made popular by the Yoruba people in southwest Nigeria. It starts with amala made from dried yam and then is covered in a variety of soups. Next we have ofe nsala, a white soup that is synonymous with the Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria. It goes best with fufu, or akbo as the Igbos call it. Next we have suya, the most well-known food of the Hausa and Fulani people of northern Nigeria. Meat is covered in a peanut-based powder called yaji and cooked over an open fire. This is banga and starch, a classic of the Urhobo people of Delta State. Lastly, we have onunu, a plantain-based swallow of the Izon people in south-south Nigeria. We are eating it with fisherman soup, popular throughout this whole region. And of course, we don't forget the jollof rice. This is popular everywhere in Nigeria. I think what makes Nigeria so great is the diversity of all the different people coming together. These beautiful ethnic groups living side by side, sharing culture and cuisine is what makes Nigeria such an amazing country to visit. Nigerians should be so proud of that cultural heritage, as there is so much more that unites than divides them.
Schengen Story magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, though articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better. The Inside Story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment. A better mind, keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story magazine. Get Schengen Story magazine full editions.
You're welcome back. You are welcome back to News Echoes Wednesday, Global Africa. George, BD, hope you guys are there. Something is brewing, something that doesn't look too good. BD, you are going to give us update on this one. On Monday, we saw Lagos State seal up a popular market called the Alaba market. The government claims that it's due to poor waste disposal and failure for the market users to pay their bills. They sealed up the Alaba International Market. That market has been known for years now, centuries, as I may remember. It's there in Ojo local government area of Lagos State, southwest Nigeria. And Tokumbo Wahab, the Commissioner for Environment and Water, said, yes, it was an intentional act to stop the poor environmental degradation going on, and so many other things he said. But let's hear from you, PD. You were following that situation there in Lagos. So what's the story about Alaba International Market and the sealing it off?
Yeah, massive man. Sealing up of markets in Lagos is not all about Alaba International Market. I'm sorry to say, but it's a new means that Lagos State, through the Minister of Environmental, have devised to extort money from businessmen and women in the state. Over the months, over 1 month, the past 1 month, about 6 markets has been sealed in Lagos. Igbo market was sealed. Ojo Labor market was sealed. Aloro market in Mushi. Alaba before Alaba International. Over Ladipo market was sealed. And you know what they do is this. It has become a culture in Lagos State, like I said. The way of Lagos State extorting money from business owners. And this always happens towards the end of the year. If you stay in Lagos, you know that there is no way you dispose your trash in Lagos without the Loma bus coming around. So what they do is this. Towards the time they want to achieve or earn this amount of money, the Loma buses will stop going to those areas. And after some time, Lagos State will now come and serve this market paper. I and my team personally went to Igbo market when it was sealed over days, going to over 1 week. We went there, we tried to speak with them, but they refused to speak with us. They say if they speak with us, that they will lock their shop, take away their shop from them, or even beat them. So that's the kind of situation we have gotten ourselves in this country. Now, they will sell this market in pretense that of a poor environmentation state, and they will not charge them from 10 million, 15 something over. Now, I want you to follow me on this. You said that they are committing environmental pollution. You will not seal the markets. And there's no other way you penalize them or even say, oh, yeah, pay this thing up. But you ask them, they will pay this money. I know markets who have paid 10 million. I know markets who have paid 15 million before they will open the market for them. So it's not about the environmental this, it's about the way the Lagos State government has devised to extort from market women and men. And you know why this thing is so, I'm so concerned about this. You remember we just finished my business summit. This was part of our discourse, extortion from business people. Do you understand? You keep extorting from people, and somebody that is running business, after some months or for years, the person runs out of business. You know how many unemployed Nigerians that are idle doing nothing? And when you interview some of them, they used to do something, but because of the harsh environment of doing business in Nigeria, they run out of fund, they run out of capital, they can't do things again, and they've run back to the unemployment world. So it's only about Lagos State. And unfortunately, nobody is saying anything about this. People are not talking about it. Yes, if the business people who now when they charge them that 15 million naira, you know what they do? They will distribute that money among everybody in the market. They don't care if you're selling pure water or you're selling salt. You must pay your own. Some people will pay 70,000, some people will pay 100,000. You must pay it. Even if you say you don't want to be in the market again, you must pay the one you have stayed. So that's how they will gather this 15 million, 10 million, some more than 15 million to pay to state government. Now, the ripple effect of this is that the goods will become more expensive. And people say, oh, things are very expensive. Why are things very expensive in Nigeria? It's because we have selfish leaders who only interested in taking from people, not giving people. Do you understand? So Lagos State government has been doing this, and people are doing as if they don't know what is happening. We all know what is happening, and nobody wants to talk about it. And people are destroying people and destroying their businesses.
Destroying people and destroying their businesses. George, also, some people are looking at it from the angle of witch hunting. It's section of of Nigerians. Is it true that
whether we like it or not, the truth be told, this is against the traders from Igbo land. This is one of those things that they have started during the election, a way to marginalize them, a way to squeeze them, a way to tighten, just make sure that they are running them away, and they're gonna frustrate most of these traders away from that area. This is what is happening. You talk about good governance, you talk about, going to the roads and taking the people that are selling goods outside, on the roads and everything. But when it comes to the marketplace, listen, lack of maintenance is one of the major problems. You allow it to be, deteriorate to the point where it becomes unbearable and you want to charge the people. They are paying their taxes. This is the reason why people pay taxes. And if there are dues or levies that are put upon the traders, this is what you're supposed to use to maintain the place. So now you turn around and want to close it down. What have you been doing? You pointing one finger at the market for is pointing at you for being inefficient in maintaining what has been. They pay their taxes, they pay their levies, and these are the things that the government is supposed to be supplying. Like Bidi said, they are interested, they specialize in taking, not giving. It is a sad situation, but let the truth be told. This thing is against the traders Igbo traders in Lagos. That's part of the plan.
We need to also understand the agreement they have with themselves on the maintenance plan. Normally, like you said, if tax are being paid, levies and all that, yes, it should be used to the government should maintain. But maybe it's the other way around for them to come and say, well, shutting you guys down, you guys have not cleaned up the environment and you guys are not doing some right thing. So BD, maybe you could help us do a research on what, a lot of time in Nigeria, people don't understand things. People don't know their left from their right. They don't know what agreement means, agreement. So BD, maybe you could do some research for us and find out what was the state of condition on that market. Are the Igbo users, the traders supposed to be taking care of the environment, maintaining the environment clean, or is it the tax of the government? Sometimes people don't get into the root of issues. BD, so do us that favor.
Let me tell you, massive Mike, forget about doing you favor. Media work in Nigeria has been stifled. I told you, and my team, we went to
No,
Igbo.
I'm not saying.
Now,
I'm just saying.
I'm coming. Wait, I know what you're saying.
Okay.
They refuse to talk to us. As long as you're in Lagos State, you don't say anything against the government. Now, let me tell you the rules. The rules is this. Those markets pay Loma. Loma are the body in Lagos State responsible of discharging
Where's the
debts,
disposal?
carrying out debts.
Where's the
Do you understand? The Lomas, they pay for that. Now, that is only where the Lagos State extorts money from these marketers. So what they do, towards the time they want to get that money, normally it's always towards the end of the year, the Loma bosses will stop going to those places. And in Lagos State, you cannot dispose your debts without Loma. Do you understand? I personally went to Oyibo market to interview them. They refused to be interviewed. So when the normal buses don't come, those places will get dirty. It is obvious truth because in Lagos State you can't even dump a refuge anyhow. You'll be arrested. So there's a particular place they park it. And so by the time they start parking it there, it will get messy. Then what will the Lagos State government do? They will not come and serve them pepper. Because they want to achieve M. They want to make money. And they've done it for the past 1 month to over 5 markets in Lagos. So the thing is this, it will not stop except people rise up and speak. Unfortunately, even the marketers are not ready to speak. Now, even if somebody said is against the Igbos, me, I'm not interested in is against the Igbos. It might be, it might not be, but me, I'm against what the Lagos State government is doing to the business people in Lagos State. Now, even if it's against the Igbo, the triple effect of this, everybody in Lagos suffers it. And after that, everybody in Nigeria will suffer it. You know why? Lagos State has been a test running ground. Whatever thing they tried in Lagos, it works. They will replicate it in another state. Do you understand? And this is why at the end of the year, they will not be giving you their profits generated. You understand? So it is a systematic effect to extort money from these marketers. Because when the Lomas don't come, the whole place will be mess and they will charge them. Now the question should be, why if in a place where things are done normally, when there is no interior motive, the Lagos State government should even charge Loma for not going there. Yes.
That's very correct. Thank you very much. Now you speak professionally. I like that. Government should have the body in charge of waste disposal management should be charged for not going there to do their job.
Alan, you have to find out first and foremost, why is it that they did not go? Was it that the government mandated them not to go, or was there some kind of a violation of contract that made them not to go? So these are the things that we're saying that we need to find out so we can speak factually, but, it seems, there is no smoke without fire, as Nigerians would say.
Another point we should look at, whichever way, did the government ask them not to go? Did they not go? What's the rationale over paying 15 million naira for dirty environment in this present situation of Nigerians? Do you understand? What's the rationale over paying 15 million naira before the government can open your store?
The reason why I believe that it is something that we really need to look into, because the government will come out tomorrow and say things like, maybe the people, the market association there, they faulted in something, because there is no telling whether it's true or not. But when you can nip it in the bud and find out exactly what happened, what's the foundational reasons why these things are happening, then you could be able to factually be able to, say, okay, point figures at that person or at this person. Because right now there could be many factors that are leading to this, but all that we're seeing is really the surface information that they have done this in the past. They extort money from people, and this is the reason why they're doing it. But if you look into it, it could be a violation by the market association. Maybe they did pay nothing, or maybe they were mandated to do something that they did not do. So if nobody is talking to you, how can you know the facts and the truth about it?
That's it. Okay, gentlemen, I don't want us to linger
Sir
long on
George,
this.
you're very, very correct. Wait, Massive Mike, let me say this. Sir George, you're
Okay.
very, very correct. You're very, very correct. But I'm telling you, governments will always have their way. They always defend themselves. They always be right. That is the truth. But the truth is this: it has been a culture in Lagos State over the 5 months, over the 1 month. They've closed down 6 markets. I mentioned it earlier, and this market must pay estimated amount before they open it. It's just a way of them making money.
So
Then
my
people are
question
suffering.
is, the
That's
money
my
that is being
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. What we'll do is look more into this whole thing. I think it's time Schengen Story Media will be bringing up some government officials to come give their reasons and give their views on the things they do. We are coming to that time now. Joe Allen Wilson is really following us. He's watching live, and he's really in the discussion. He says, no maintenance culture in Nigeria. That is true. That is very true, Alan. Alan, we're Nigerians, and you just hit it. I guess Alan probably is affiliated to Nigeria one way or the other. And Alan says something that I like. He says the local council and good governance should step in. That's a good one, Alan. Another one he says is, I agree with George. However, the local governments still have a responsibility to play. This shows Alan is in tune. Alan, maybe you're having business in Nigeria or you're married to a Nigerian, whatever it is, you are in tune with what is going on, and we are happy you're following us up here in real time. Gentlemen, I want us to go further. The time is always a problem with news update. There's something that happened just last night. Justice Eberechi Wike. Justice Eberechi Wike happens to be the wife of the former minister the former governor of Rivers State, Governor Wike. So the wife is a justice, and she came out strong last night, gentlemen. She's advocating for amputation for sex offenders. She's saying it very loud. She says that the current punishment isn't drastic enough, adding that the move will make what she's agitating for will make offenders to already begin to run away from molesting minors. Her concern is more of underage minors being molested. So this woman is saying this, and it's happening in a time when Lagos State Sexual Offense and Domestic Violence Court just sentenced a medical doctor, one Dr. Olufemi Olaleye, to life imprisonment for defiling his wife's niece. He did this when the girl was 15 years old, and he did it for a time of about a year plus some months, defiling this underage girl. So, and Justice Eberechi is advocating that sex offenders get amputated. Sex offenders get castrated.
What are they going to be amputated? Their arms or their legs?
Maybe
castration.
Maybe castration. So, BD, George, what you guys say?
Yeah.
Our time is running. Eberechi says.
What she was. That's Judge Eberechi, wife of a former governor of Rivers State and presently Minister of STT. Yes, she said it that this thing is getting too much. She was actually referring to those who are defining minors, and she said that it is high time we start amputating. If his hand he or she used on that child, that hand should be amputated. If his mouth, it should be cut off. If it's his penis, it should be cut off. It is high time that Nigerian government take a drastic decision so that these people will stop, abusing minors. That is even enough that they have been abusing women, and government have refused to do anything about it. But abusing minors, it's heart-wrenching that they should do something about it. And I must tell you, I totally agree with her. A lot of people have been saying, laws should be made against electoral offenders too. The thing that she has made a lot of mistakes, but that does not mean she doesn't have any other good to say. Because it has become a culture in our side that people abuse people and get away with it. And our lawyers and our lawmakers will not stand up against it because them too, they are abusers. But that's not what I'm saying. But our children, our babies, abusing them, no, we should do a hard punishment to them. People who abuse our babies, our minors.
Thank you very much. So Eberechi said that yesterday. George, what do you think? Should there be more stricter
Well,
punishment?
I mean, I think she's being she's being very emotional. I understand. It is a bad thing when intelligent or whatever the state might be for an individual to be abusing underage or minor, or even at any point in any situation whatsoever to abuse, to violate is very, very unacceptable and deplorable. But the point about castration or amputation, she better be careful. Her husband might be one of those to be castrated if she's not careful what she's talking about. Seriously though, because no, to be very frank with you, there are ways you can go. It's just almost like they're saying in a place where there is no death penalty, and you're saying firing squad or whatever the case might be. Yes, indeed, we can stiffen the consequences of such actions, but to say amputation is what he says that's beyond going beyond an acceptable way of doing things.
But George, George, let me take you on this. No, George, let me take you on this. Sorry, George, let me take you on this. George, let me take you on this. You read the Bible. You're a man in the pulpit. Back in the days, that was the punishment. You know this, and mankind is becoming a little bit more crazier and more insane in doing things. When
Massive
you
Mark,
hear
slavery used to be allowed in the past too. Don't forget that. It was not. It wasn't condemned in those days.
Yeah. So
we are in a place now where we're so
maybe
enlightened and so educated. There are other ways of punishing people rather than talking about amputation. That's mutilation. I mean, who does that? Where is she coming from?
Okay, let's hear Alan.
Do you suggest?
Let's hear Alan. Alan is saying something here.
Too much.
Go ahead, BD.
It's becoming too much in Nigeria. I'm telling you, I'm a blogger. In a month, I'm telling you, over 20% of news I carry is abuse of minors. And let me tell you, in our society, people do this thing because they've seen people who did it and they get away, nothing happened to them. I didn't know there was a day I went into a coma. A 3-month-old baby, a driver abused a 3-month-old baby. 3-month baby who was still in diapers, and the baby died. Now, what do you expect we should do to such person? Do you understand? And after that, people are still doing it.
Possibility of parole. Such will be life imprisonment with no possibility of parole. And such a situation to kill a child like that can actually result into what you call death sentence. And I'm advocate that, but what I'm talking about is, if it comes to like killing a child, abusing minors and stuff like that, there ought to be adequate punishment for that would deter people. Like Alan was saying, that child abuse is a sickness, and cutting off an appendage, it will not stop all others with the sickness. So what it is, are we going to send them to the hospital now? Are we going to put them in a place where they can be abused by others so that they will learn the lesson? So there are adequate punishments.
We give them time. We give them time. So that when other people see them, they will not do it.
Thank God.
Feed them with maths so that when other people see, they will not do it.
Yes, thank God the Lagos State Sexual Offences and Domestic Violence Court yesterday, sentenced a medical doctor to life imprisonment. Nice looking young man. Yes, in Lagos State. A medical doctor, no anything. He was sentenced. Up to no, yes. All right, gentlemen. Listen. Thank you very much. Alan, we want to thank you. Alan says he's an Igbo man, but we know he's not an Igbo man. He's only he enjoys the.
I hope Alan enjoys jollof rice.
Yes. Billy, I want to thank you for coming through. Our viewers, we had a huge number of them out there, about 2 grand. Thank you, George, We'll be back on Friday, same time, 11 a.m. Europe time. I don't know where it will be on other places. Tune in and hear good discussions, hear good updates from George Chukwu, Toronto, Canada, from Bidi Nana in Lagos, Nigeria, and from myself and other colleagues that joins us too. So until then, have a beautiful week, and please don't go near Alaba market. Don't go near Alaba. Thank you, George. Thank you.